Hi, I'm going to tell you why, if you're a new programmer, I think you should start a blog. Programming is great, but when you're new, it can be a little bit tough to stand out, and I think there's a lot of ways to differentiate yourself. You could have a cool portfolio website, a YouTube channel, or my personal favorite, a blog. Yeah, I know I have a YouTube channel, but just hear me out. So I wish that someone had told me when I was starting out how I should really focus more on my blog. I mean, I had a blog, I have one blog post. If you want to read it, I'll link it below, but aside from that, I think I missed out on blogging, and it's actually something that I'm starting to continue now. And I realized how helpful it can be, especially if you're a new programmer. So this video, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I think that you should start a blog as a new programmer and document your journey. So I want to start off by saying that there are a lot of ways that you can start a blog, but the one I'm going to be recommending in this video is Medium. And the reason I'm recommending Medium is a couple of different things. One, it has a very low barrier to entry. You can start posting today under your own name completely for free. And then once you start posting, you already have exposure to Medium's very wide audience. And on top of that, a lot of Medium's audience is actually programmers. And how do I know this? Because some of Medium's biggest publications with over 500,000 followers are programming publications, like Towards Data Science and Better Programming, I think has like 200,000 or something, maybe more right now. But there's a lot of programmers on Medium posting and reading. So I think if you're a programmer who wants to blog but doesn't want to spend too much time on it, Medium is just the place to be. Well, it makes it so easy for you. Plus, Medium has a really great partner program, but more on that later. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that. But I'm also not saying you have to be Tim Ferriss over here. You can put in like a couple of hours a week on this if you want, or you can put in many more hours a week and make it one of your main focuses. What I'm saying is the choice is completely up to you. There's a lot of different ways that you can use a blog. You can use it just to document what you're doing every day. So let's say you're taking a course at the end of each day, or maybe at the end of each week, kind of recount what you learned in the course and just maybe even how you felt about the course, because that could be really useful to someone. Or you could use your blog for something more like analyzing a new concept you learned, which maybe would take a little bit of time if you're doing that more often. So there's a lot of freedom in this. Okay, so that's why I think Medium is a good option, and some examples of what you can do with a blog. Let's talk about reasons why having a blog is good. Okay, so let's start off. Having a blog, I think, is really great for recruitment when you're looking for a job. Let's say you apply for a job, and when you send in your info to the recruiter or whoever it is, you're giving them more than just a resume and maybe a personal project or something. If you have a blog linked to that, you're already letting them get to know who you are a little bit if they read your blog posts. So when they meet you, it's like they already know who you are. You're also letting them know about your process and your methods, which in programming can actually sometimes be even more important than being able to actually solve a problem, because this way they get to see what's going on in your head while you're solving a problem, which is really valuable, and they wouldn't get to see that if you had just turned in projects. So overall, I think having a blog is not only a good way for recruiters to get to know you a little bit before you meet them, but they're also going to remember you more because they're going to have heard your voice already from your blog posts. Okay, next, writing can really help you keep track of what you're doing and keep yourself accountable. I've said this before in other videos, but I'm gonna say it again. If you take even a few minutes just to write down what you did at the end of each day, or if you're doing it in blog format, writing a little bit more detailed about what you're doing, it is so useful because number one, it makes you more motivated to actually get things done, because you don't want to get to the end of the day and start filling out the report of what you did and realize that you didn't do anything. And two, because in writing what you're doing, you can kind of see like, oh, why did it take me so long to do this course that should have only taken me this long? Was I getting distracted? Or maybe it was just like, okay, that's how long it takes me to watch a lecture. Tomorrow when I make my schedule, I'm gonna plan 2 hours for that instead of 1 hour. So it's just a great way to like keep adjusting and getting better at planning, and also making sure that you actually get things done. It's like when you write down what you've accomplished, you don't want to write down zero, so you're going to want to do something. Okay, Okay, the next reason is connecting with others. I think it's just good in general going through this journey to find other people who are going through a similar thing, because it can be kind of lonely sometimes. But either way, if you're more of a loner and you're not interested in talking to people, at least do it for the potential opportunities that could arise from it in the future, which I'm going to touch on in a second. But before that, what I wanted to say is, believe it or not, your experiences are actually useful to other people. That's because everyone who's learning how to program, many people come from like a lot of different backgrounds. Like, I have come from a marketing background. I'm sure there's a lot of teachers who are learning to program. There's all kinds of people learning to program. So chances are there's going to be quite a few people online who are coming from a similar background to you, because we all have a unique background, but we're not that special. Like, there's people out there like us. So chances are there's going to be some other people like you, and they'll have something to relate to from your writing if you write about, I don't know, maybe your experience transitioning from whatever you were doing before. And even if they don't have the same background as you, there's going to be people online who just connect with your writing style, and if you put yourself out there, eventually you might find those people, especially if you're on Medium, because they have such a big programming audience. And by the way, this isn't sponsored by Medium. I just really like Medium, and it helped me a lot when I was starting out. So not only can you connect with other people who are reading your posts, but you can actually help them. Like, if someone was thinking about taking CS50 and you took it and wrote about it, people will find that useful, and that's going to give you exposure. Also, like, if you write something and someone reads it and connects with it and ends up messaging you, which could happen, number one, it's like the best feeling ever to know that like something you wrote inspired someone else, or just that there's anyone else in the world feeling the same way. Like I said, this learning, the whole programming, learning on your own, it can be kind of lonely. So it can be really nice if you even make like one connection through a blog post, because not only does this person relate to you, but they also read something that you wrote, and I think that's just like the coolest thing ever. On top of that, so okay, let's say you do make a couple of connections through writing. This is a great way to connect with someone on a longer term basis. Like, you need connections in programming because sometimes you need help, you need someone to look over your code. You can, do check-ins with these people and kind of learn about how they're learning and their process too, and that can help you tremendously. And on top of that, like, who knows, if you end up making a long-term connection with this person, down the line, if you are looking for a job, like, they're a programmer too, so maybe they'll be working somewhere that you're interested in and they could hook you up, Like, there's only positives to connecting with other programmers online. Okay, if I haven't sold you on the whole blog writing yet, then maybe this will do it. But also, I'd be surprised if you are still here. So if you are still here and I haven't sold you yet, leave a comment down below and please let me know, because that's cool that you're still watching. So having a blog can help you become a better programmer too, and this is how it could do that. So if you've ever heard of the Feynman technique, it's a popular study technique that you try to explain something, difficult concept, as if you're explaining it to an 8-year-old or an elementary school person. So I think this is a great thing to put into practice in blog posts when you're learning a new concept that's a little bit challenging, to just kind of write about it and try to break it down into simpler terms. And then, you can do this just as a study technique, but why not post it online? Obviously, I like putting my life out there, if you couldn't tell. Okay, the last reason, the reason anyone does anything, is to make a little extra cash. I know we're all out here learning how to program, not at a programming job yet, so why not make a little extra cash if possible? Medium actually has a very good partner program. If you compare it to YouTube, the numbers are like, you get way more money on Medium per view for each article than you would on YouTube, and there's a number of reasons for that, but I won't get into that. So if you do succeed on Medium, you can actually make some decent cash on the side. And if this is the only reason that you want to start a programming blog, then I think maybe I didn't do a good job in this video. That's always good too as a side hustle, but I think it's going to take, if your main goal is to make money from Medium, I think that's going to take a lot more effort than like a side blog about programming, but I mean, the possibility is there. If maybe in the future you want to grow it even more, then you could definitely make some good money off Medium. So I just wanted to put that out there, that that's also part of it. And I think that's pretty much the video. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you like this video, give it a like and consider subscribing so that you do not miss any more of these wonderful videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.